In this video, you will learn how to add session metadata and files to a Lameta Metadata project. To follow along with this guide, you should have already entered the project level metadata and some people metadata as described in parts 1 and 2 of this series. To create a new session in Lameta, click on the Sessions tab and click New Session in the bottom left corner. Sessions are comprised of files that belong together, in other words, files that share the same metadata. Every session should have a unique session ID. This ID must be no more than 20 characters in length and may only contain the characters A through Z, both uppercase and lowercase, the numbers 0 through 9, dash, and underscore. The ID must not contain spaces, special characters, or characters with diacritics like accent marks. In best practice, this ID should match the file name stem used for the files in the session. Enter the recording date and a meaningful title for other people to understand what the session is about. You can enter a title in more than one language following the format English title, then a space, a slash, and another space, then the title in a second language. In the description box, enter a rich but concise description that helps users of the archive understand the materials and allows them to decide if they want to explore them further. Descriptions may also be entered in more than one language. Next, choose a genre from the drop-down menu. If none of the genres listed describe the genre of the recording, you can type in the name of a custom genre, then click on the orange option that says Create. This new genre will now be listed for future sessions in your Lameta project too. Next, choose an access type from the drop-down menu. Access is defined at the session level, so be sure that all files in the session are okay to have the same access type. Enter one or more topics for the session. Topics should describe what people in the session are talking about in a broad sense. For example, food or agriculture. Multiple topics can be separated by a comma. Then enter some keywords for the session, separated by a comma. Keywords should be more fine-grained than topics. For example, a conversation about the topic food might more specifically concern the keywords cake and coffee. Topics and keywords can also be entered in the multilingual format. The subject and working languages for the session are filled automatically. If you need to add other languages, you can click into the blank space in the field and type in the name of the additional language. If you need to remove a language, you can delete it from that session by hovering over the language name, then clicking the X symbol to the right of it. Then, enter the location where the recording was made. Next, we need to add the participants and other contributors to the session. Click on the Contributors tab, then click into one of the empty cells under Name, and start typing a participant's name. The name will appear in a drop-down menu. Click on it to select it. If the contributor is not in the list, you can go back to the People tab at any time to add them. After you select the participant or contributor's name, select a role from the drop-down menu to the right. Continue adding people until you have accounted for everyone who was present during the recording or involved in the transcription, translation, and analysis process. For some contributors, it might be necessary to list them more than once. For example, as a speaker in the recording and also as a translator. Finally, we need to add the files that correspond to the session. Click on the word Session to go back to the main session metadata page. Drag and drop all the files that belong to the session into the space above the metadata fields. You can also add files by clicking Add Files in the top right corner and navigating to the appropriate folder. Lameta copies all of the files that you add, so if you find that you are low on storage space on your hard drive, you will want to set up your project on an external hard drive or using a media folder as described in part 5 of this series.